Can you walk us through the exact moment or observation that made you guys realize the consumer health world needed Lylah Health? What was that gap you couldn't ignore?
The fact that people, I don't know the exact moment this happened, but the fact that people were given 1/3 of the equation or 2/3 of the equation. And they were being fed this misinformation. Like, say you have a probiotic or a prebiotic alone, they were told, oh, just drink this soda and you'll be fine. Nope, absolutely wrong. Just eat yogurt, eat like anything that has a probiotic in it. Wrong. You need the entire equation. That is what we are doing specifically. We are giving you your prebiotic, a specific prebiotic, by the way, that then feeds a specific probiotic. You can't just throw random things together. So you have to have specific prebiotic, specific probiotic, and then we are giving a direct delivery of your postbiotic instead of waiting for the body to process it manually.
I think it beautifully said. I echo what Zua says, that there was no single moment, but a series of moments. Just to piggyback on what she just commented on about needing the prebiotics, the probiotics, and the postbiotic. If we engineered this specifically so that the postbiotic, or the end of the metabolism of the specific bacteria eating the specific prebiotic and then undergoing metabolism, this postbiotic actually catalyzes or makes more rapid the growth of these particular helpful bacteria that have been shown, again, in randomized controlled trials to reduce bad cholesterol and triglycerides by a statistically significant amount in patients who are on therapy already, meaning pharmaceutical therapy to lower their lipids, and people who have high cholesterol but aren't on therapy. So kind of in a diverse set of populations. And that essentially gives your body a boost by delivering a large amount of self-perpetuating probiotics that are known to be helpful in an effort to, again, make it so that your body doesn't have to play catch up with growth of those bacteria at a quote unquote natural pace, and also crowd out bad bacteria that tend to cause this low level baseline inflammation that leads to so many of the disease entities that are linked to the gut microbiome. Now, to take a step back, for me, it was a small series of steps. One of them was, becoming more aware of the supplement space and realizing that, hey, at least half my patient population takes at least one supplement. In fact, last week I had, I can say the name, but a patient of mine asked me, do you know anything about Unicity, which is a supplement that's out there? And I didn't know anything about it, but he was concerned and he wanted to know that his provider was on the same page and knew something, or at least was willing to learn. Again, this is a space that people look to for help, and it's often ignored by clinicians, and that's on us. But I looked it up and I told him my thoughts about it. We went forward. So recognizing that a decent chunk, likely, not hyperbole, but more than half of my patient population are looking to supplements specifically for heart health. So it would be foolish of me as a clinician to be narrow-minded, look only at the pharmaceutical kind of options at our disposal, and not become more aware about the supplement space, what's out there, what seems to work or is at least evidence-based, and what is not. Kind of the next step was when Zula came to me with the kind of initial ingredients, or the seed that turned into the plant that is Lylah Health. It forced me to look around and look at our future competitors and now our current competitors and see what are they basing their product off of. And I was largely and sorely disappointed because I expected better. But at the end of the day, money talks. And putting a product out that consumers will take, regardless of there being little to no data to support it, seems to be good business practice in this space. We would really like to change that. And then awareness, just by virtue of the work that I do as a clinician and my duty to my patients to treat them as if they were a family member, that same approach applies to our business, or how I view our business and how Lylah views our business, how the entire Lylah team approaches this. From the beginning, we've said we are going to be just like physicians in the sense that we're taking a Hippocratic oath, if you will. First, do no harm. Second, do what's right for the patient or for the consumer in this instance.
Yeah, and Bilal has said before regarding when he was discussing his patients, he's told me, and I believe Zara as well, that there's nothing wrong in trying out these supplements as long as there is data behind them, because how did we discover medicine?
Aspirin came from a tree bark. Penicillin was a happy accident.
Now, that doesn't mean that everything natural is a good thing, because heroin technically is natural as well. But
good point. just for extreme clarification, in case anybody was wondering.
Don't do drugs.
But clinicians saying absolutely no to a patient just because it's a supplement and they were taught that medicine is the way to go, that is not the correct way to basically keep your patient around and want them. It will shut them down and it will stop them from asking more questions. So if you have a clinician like Bilal, for example, or someone who is willing to listen and hear out your problems, then there's no harm in trying something if, again, it is backed by data. So that's kind of what we're doing here.
And I'm going to continue off of what Lylah said, because you brought up some great points. There are many clinicians like myself out there who take supplements seriously and who account for it and give their best guidance after research for their patients' sake. Because patients out there, like I said, more than half of mine, and I would say most cardiology clinics are like that, more than half of mine are taking some sort of supplement. Now, what I will say to kind of close out the loop, or close this idea of supplements and what is safe and what is not safe, is that I encourage anyone who's interested in Biotics Cube to talk to their physician, have them do the due diligence. Your physician should do the due diligence, and if they don't, it might be time to consider somebody else. But I would challenge someone to bring this up with their healthcare provider and be interested to hear unsolicited what those healthcare providers have to say. I think that's a good rule of thumb and a good test, because we're trying to reach across the aisle here to patients who are maybe less likely to see their physicians, or who take supplements in addition to see their physicians. We want to meet you guys in the middle and understand that not everything out there is commercialized in terms of a pharmaceutical company having capitalized on it, put it in pill or tablet form. But medicine advances in this way, experimentally and often outside of the mainstream. I could cite 100 examples, but as my family and business partners all like to say, I am short story long, not long story short. I'll stop myself before it gets too much.